to the road trip podcast, Interdimensional Road Trip. That's the name. It's been a while.
Said it well.
Yeah, the least planned out of our podcasts, which is really saying something.
Well, there was one time when you were like, we should do a podcast. So.
That's most times.
Oh, well, then it sounds like it was equally as planned out as all of them.
Yeah, or least organized, I guess, is what it is. Like we haven't really. I want to do more podcasts, actually.
Yeah.
I really want to do more Superhero Chicken Fest. I thought, like, this will be, like, it's us talking about movies. It's what we do anyway. We can just throw up a couple podcasts are so easy to do.
Yeah.
And it's like the one remnant left over from the White Lightning HQ era of us never being able to finish anything is that we just can't seem to nail down podcasts.
I really like podcasts because I really like talking, but I still assume no one wants to hear me talk. So I've never gotten on like on the whole like I should do a podcast because I'm like no one wants to hear me say things.
Well, I never thought people would want to watch me do things either, and that proved wrong.
But
which will be the theme of this entire podcast, actually.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point.
It's just me and Allison. This time we are driving through England right now.
Through southern England.
Yeah, which is a much more exotic location for us than our usual through southern Texas.
I'm not sure exotic is the word, but it's
there's like
a lot
hills
more to
and
see.
lakes and cold and roundabouts.
Yeah.
We don't have any of that stuff back home.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sheep.
Sheep. Yeah. Wild animals.
Not really enough sheep though. I really like the sheep.
Yeah, no, I like all the sheep. Seeing sheep fields is. It's just like seeing like a bunch of white bushes. Actually, it's just like an aesthetic look.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've been. This is our 5th day here. Is that right?
Is it?
We got here on
5 days.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's now Friday, so yeah, 5th day.
Is it Friday? Okay. Yeah.
We're heading from. We just left the Cotswolds. What was the city called again?
We were right outside of Cheltenham.
Cheltenham.
Cheltenham. That's what it is.
We learned that
Cheltenham.
We learned that the correct way to pronounce British towns is just to take every shortcut through the word possible. Just remove all unnecessary vowels.
Yeah. Sounds really high.
Yeah, I know. That's the default sound for road noise.
Oh, good.
That's the floor.
Oh, good.
You will be turning left up a ways.
On Woodstock.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
So, we got here first day on Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the flight was perfectly fine.
Thank the Lord. But
we ran into some issues immediately afterward, which if you were following the channel at the time, you may have seen some updates about. We went to rent a car we are currently in, and I tried to drive the car, and I failed to drive the car.
You did fail. You failed.
We bought tire insurance at the car. They offered multiple insurance options, and I was like, the tire and windshield one seems like something that might just happen, so we might as well get those. And then not 20 minutes after we leave, I clip a curb with the front left tire, and...
To be fair, though, these British curbs are rough. Like in America, we like round out or nice cement curbs.
You make like molds for them or something.
Yeah, in England, they were like...
Just a corner.
Literally just like a sharp cobblestone jutting out into the middle of the road for you to specifically hit to pop your tire.
And I was still getting used to the driving on the left side thing.
You were having a hard time.
Underestimating the amount of car that was to my left.
It's a wide car.
It's also a wide car. It's also a weird, fancy, tech car, which I use an older, a 2009 model Hyundai back at home that has no automatic features at all.
Right.
And this one has all these buttons everywhere. And
this car restarts every time you stop and hit the gas because it's gas efficient, which it has been. So everything was basically working against us. I'm glad that that's all that happened. It could have been worse. We could have not paid for it, but... That cost us 6 hours.
It ended up costing us, the day, which is the annoying thing. Because we ended up having to sit around... Well, and this is the other, it's entirely my fault for flipping the curb. That was entirely on me.
Yeah.
But there's so many ways it could have been fixed so much faster.
Yeah.
Like, if they had included a spare tire, for example, we could have changed it and been on our way, but they didn't do that.
I don't even know why they wouldn't do that. That doesn't make sense. And the guy that came to fix our tire was like, they used to. So they actively made the decision to be jerks.
Yeah. And so we had to, and then we didn't have our phones ready at that point yet either.
Right.
Our phones were still had American SIM cards in them, so we couldn't call the company right from our car.
I blame you for that.
Why?
Well, because you told me you had a SIM card.
I did have a SIM card. It expired. I didn't know it was going to be. I brought it like as a backup in case I could use it in between.
I relied on you.
I figured we would find a store in the airport too, but there wasn't one.
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate.
So we ended up having to go to. We found it looked like an apartment building, but it ended up being a retirement home.
Yeah.
And the woman there, Dawn, was really nice. Let us come in and use their phone.
Yeah, we knocked on the door and she comes and she opens the door and just sort of stares. And we're like, "Hi, can we use your phone? We ruined our car." And she was like, "You don't have phones?" And we were like, "Oh, we're American." Which really wasn't an answer. And she was like, "But young people without phones? I mean, yes, come in, but I'm shocked." And we came in and we used her phone and bumbled like idiots and didn't know the registration, so we had to go back out. And she was really kind. She let us stay. We listened to old lady talks, and then...
Yeah, we hung out while we were waiting for the car to the repair people to show up.
Yeah.
And she gave us, like, tea and snacks.
We had delicious tea. Delicious tea.
And, yeah, she was just really nice to us for no reason, so...
I think we probably looked really pathetic.
Probably. We'd been flying for, like... we'd been traveling for like 24 hours at that point.
Well, and we stopped in a town with 4 roads. Like, we clearly didn't look like we belonged at all.
We went and got our phones fixed up, though, at
Tesco.
And got, like, SIM cards that we've been using the whole time.
Yeah.
And so then the repair people were late because they tried to come out the first time. But they didn't write our number down correctly that we gave them to call us on, so they couldn't contact us when they couldn't find us. So we eventually, like, when I called back, they were like, "Well, we couldn't find you," and, yep. And so I was like, "Okay, well, get over here now, please."
Yeah.
So they finally get there. This guy takes us to a repair shop.
Oh my god.
And in the repair shop, everybody along the way was actually really nice. The guy who helped us swap the tire out,
deal with.
Yeah, he was cool. The guy at the repair shop was really nice. He got our tire all set up. We had to delay there, though, because Enterprise wouldn't send a code over saying that they were going to pay for the tire.
Yeah.
So they couldn't let us leave with the car until they got that. And so this guy was just, like, sitting on his computer, just refreshing constantly and calling and, like, berating the Enterprise people for not sending him the stupid number.
Well, and I told him, I was like, "How much does it cost to pay for the tire?" And he was nice enough to be like, "They will not pay you back." Like, he told us. He wasn't like, he didn't want our money. He was like, he was really trying to help us. And I was like, "Well, if we pay for the tire, we can get it refunded later." And he was like, no, Enterprise will not do that.
Right.
And I was like, "How will they not do that?" And he was like, "Well, because they'll say that you should have used their services no matter how long it took."
Right.
And I was like, "That's some garbage."
So that whole first day was kind of a nightmare. Well, and then after all that, we were still 40 minutes out from our Airbnb, so then I had to do, like, this white-knuckle drive through London in a car that I didn't understand, on a road that I didn't understand.
The reason I didn't drive, by the way, is because we didn't actually buy second driver stuff, which I thought Kyle would be okay, actually.
I thought I would be much better than I turned out to be.
Well, I didn't have much of a transition problem in New Zealand, so I just assumed that you wouldn't really either, but that wasn't really totally a fair assumption. I think I have, like, whatever bump that people have in transitioning from left to right, I have it, like, not at, like, none. And I was telling you a little bit about that earlier, just, like, I don't know how to describe it, but transitioning from left to right driving was very easy for me.
Yeah. So I figured it would be a lot easier for me too, just because I don't know.
Well, that's really interesting. There's a GIF going around of a mask, right, that's concave when you look at it. Like, it's all completely colorless, and then as it turns, you can see where it starts to become three-dimensional and, like, pop out at you.
Yeah.
But apparently there are some people who can't ever see the difference, and that's actually a sign of, like, a general sign of, like, a sociopath or something like that.
What?
Yeah, because, like, I guess because they just don't register faces the same or something.
Yeah. That's strange.
Yeah.
Here, you can focus on this roundabout for a bit if you want.
Sure.
So we finally got to our Airbnb and just kind of we just collapsed. Like we weren't even able to make it to our meetup because we had a meetup planned that day because we were going to get to our Airbnb at like 1.
Right.
And be able to make it to downtown London by 7 without too much trouble.
Right.
But ended up spending so much time there that we did not. So we ended up just like collapsing afterwards. Allison is now driving currently, in case you hadn't noticed, and has been the entire time. And has actually gotten really good at it.
Oh, thanks.
And well, even to me, the roads are less confusing now that we've been driving on them for 5 days.
Yeah,
We've had to pick up what the road things mean too. We don't know.
Right. So we were pretty irresponsible in that, like, we were probably the equivalent of letting a 15-year-old drive in Texas. Like if you just handed a 15-year-old a car and told him to start driving, we probably drove pretty similarly because we didn't actually understand any of the road signs.
Yeah.
Which, okay, in New Zealand, we were driving through, like, rural New Zealand, which means that, like, it was just two-way roads the whole time around mountains. So in terms of, like, road signs, none of it mattered.
Yeah.
Like, you drive and they drive and then you're fine. But because we, like, started off heading to London, there were road signs everywhere and neither of us knew what they meant, which was pretty irresponsible of us. We probably should have looked into that, but we're like, what does that sign mean? And then turns out it means not really roundabout, sort of roundabout. Also, lanes are crossing.
Right.
Or something.
Well, I think London is, like, having driven more now, too.
Yeah.
London is definitely worse than the rest of England. But
Sure.
people told us, but, like, specifically the way the roads are laid out.
Sure.
Like, there are times when the middle line just disappears, but you're still expected to maintain 2 lanes. Mm-hmm. And that's it, like, to somebody who's just joining in, that is in no way clear.
I think the thing that caused me the most anxiety, though, was just the random yellow blinking bulbs.
Right, because we still don't know what those are, actually.
I think we know what they are.
We have an idea, but there's these giant, like glass orbs that just blink yellow sometimes on the side of the road. We don't know what that means. Everybody just seems to ignore them.
Yeah, everybody ignores them. They just drive straight through them.
But they were clearly put there with some intent.
Right. But they have actual, like, lights. Like actual lights, so I don't know why that's specifically a necessity for whatever it means. You know,
one of my reasons for, like, I'll be able to drive on the left side of the road when I get here was because I played Euro Truck Simulator in VR for a few hours.
Which I thought would actually be pretty good.
I did too, but I forgot a part of it, which is I bumped into the side of the road a lot when I was playing it.
Oh, you could have mentioned that.
Well, because I even talked about it, like, as being part of, like how well the thing was set up, because I would be like, you know, I would drift a little bit and I would feel the wheels, like, bumping on the road.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wait, that doesn't make any sense. I'm in VR, how am I feeling that? And it was because the steering wheel was programmed so well that it would vibrate when you drifted over. But for some reason I forgot that meant, hey, wait a minute, I'm drifting to the left a lot.
Oh my gosh. Hilariously, we drifted to the left and popped our tire. See how funny it is?
It was so funny.
So hilarious. Anyway, enough about driving.
This is the Road Trip podcast. It's always about driving.
Well, then people definitely don't want to hear about it.
Well, so it got much more interesting after that day.
Right. We had delicious Thai food, though, that really mostly helped make up for it.
Okay. I have been lied to my entire life about the quality of English food.
Yeah.
People have told me forever that it's bland, it tastes bad, and everything we have had here has been amazing.
They must have upped their game when they decided to do free water. I think that's what happened. I think at some point they were like, you know what, let's give people free water and also salt. And I think everything just changed after that moment.
It's not even just that, though. Like, there's so many times when we're, like, you and I are eating, and we're just like, this is so much better than American versions of the same thing for these specific reasons.
Right.
Because everything is much fresher here. I think it's because, like, it's all the intervening space between towns is farms.
Well, yeah. Well, we've specifically been in, like, interesting areas. Like, we had our first meal was in Brixton, which is right outside of Brixton, I think is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which is right London. Yeah, which is right outside of London, and we got Thai food, which, if we were told any food was going to be good in London, it was actually going to be Thai or, like, Asian cuisine.
It's like Southern Asian.
Right,
I think it's pretty popular there. We just had it delivered, though, and it was, like, amazing. It was the most delicious Thai food I think I've ever had.
And it was so cheap until I realized it was actually, like, 60 American dollars and 30 pounds. But, yeah.
But then, like, what else did we have? We had, like, ramen at one point that was really, really good.
Oh, that was so good.
We had, I forget what we had right before we went to the meetup on Monday. Remember where we stopped that day?
No.
Oh, the Italian food. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
The pasta that we had at the Italian food place.
But really, we just haven't had English food until we went to the inn.
Well, then we went to this inn, and like I had like a wild boar sausage, and Allison had this fish, and they were freaking amazing. They was like the most delicious food. What was the fish? What kind of fish? Haddock. Yeah, which I hadn't had before at all, but it was seasoned amazingly, and which
I have had, but it never tasted like that before.
Normally when you eat like beef sausage at like barbecue places in Texas, I get full after like 3 slices. Something about it just fills me up immediately, and the stuff here didn't do that. It was just
the food here has been
light,
good,
and everything just tastes really different. I don't even know how to explain it. Like
when we finally had English food, we stopped in the middle of the Cotswold district, which is literally only surrounded by farms.
Right.
So I imagine they just like actually went out and slaughtered some animals and then delivered it to our plate. Like, it's the only thing I can think of.
Well, and it tasted like it is the thing, I guess. Like everything tasted like it had been created from scratch, maybe the day before at the latest.
Right.
Or at the earliest, yeah. And it was like everything. I don't know. It's just like we're noticing almost like the use of filler foods more in America just from eating things that don't have it here.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is I can't quite tell you what it is, but American food compared to this food seems to have a general like pre-packaged flavor of sorts, like stuffed with other things flavor, like preservatives. Like you can't actually taste preservatives, but you can not taste them when they're not there or something.
Yeah, that's what it is actually.
That's what it seems like, at least.
They don't stand out when they're in there, but you notice when they're not.
Right, exactly.
And I think it's just because of it's not like as much of a mass production thing here, I guess. It's just things are made fresh just because it's available to be made fresh everywhere.
But not in London. I think London probably has garbage food.
Yeah.
Because I was there for 5 days and didn't find a single meal that I liked that wasn't incredibly expensive.
Yeah. But yeah,
so anyway.
And then the dessert that we've had too has been great. They don't use as much sugar in the dessert either.
Oh my god, sticky toffee pudding is my favorite thing in the entire world. I had no idea.
We've had that twice now.
We're gonna have it everywhere.
Yeah.
Every time we go out, I order sticky toffee pudding because it's phenomenal. And it's the most British sounding thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Well, I learned, like, logically, like, the more sugar you add to something, the sweeter it is and the better it is. It's like, dessert-wise, that's what I always kind of figured. Like,
that's
plus sugar equals plus good. But they have less sugar than we use, and the other flavors just come through more, and it just, like, all the desserts taste more unique, and it's been, so we've really enjoyed the food here.
So that's the driving and the food. Let's talk about what we did.
Right.
We've done quite a bit.
We have. It's been such a fulfilling week. Like, from a business perspective, the cost of this trip has been
a real investment.
Entirely worth it by this point.
Absolutely.
Like, everything by the end of this, I think we'll have 5 videos out of it. 2 sketches, 2 behind the scenes worth of footage, and a community comments with Squire once we're done.
Yeah.
And
I don't know which way to go. Help. Not you. Just my GPS.
Where does it think you are?
This was probably not right. Was this right?
I think you might be right, actually, yeah. No, good call.
Okay.
It was just estimating you further ahead for some reason, which was really distracting.
Like, you can go any of these ways. Alright. Well, we didn't die again, so that's good.
But yeah, we probably have like 5 videos worth of footage filmed. We have like several new connections now that will probably lead to future things. Advertising, because Hat Films is going to put us in there.
Right.
In their video.
Right.
And probably more stuff too that I'm not even thinking about. Like, it was just all these like connections and things, and it was like business-wise, it was a very good investment. This trip.
It was actually.
on Tuesday, we got up, we drove to Bristol.
Yeah.
We just headed straight for...
Bristol is a cute little city.
Yeah, no, I really like Bristol, actually. I think it's a nice mix of city and kind of the old-style country English.
Well, and being able to walk around with Hat Films and just seeing how much they actually kind of like it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice to go places and have people like where they live, because it's a little bit of a rarity, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody always, like, trash talks wherever they're from.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the guiltiest person of that. People are like, tell me about Austin. I'm like, well, I don't like it. Ask somebody else.
But we got to... So we've mentioned Hat Films a couple times. I mean, we got to film with the Yogscast, which is...
amazing.
Incredible. Yeah, we ended up, like, trying to... We had a little bit of trouble finding the place that we had picked out to film. Because Mark hadn't... so I contacted Mark. Mark Humes, he does the... High Rollers D&D thing on the Yogscast channel on their Twitch stream. He's the DM, and that's been running for a little over a year now. A pothole there.
Was that what that was?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And I contacted him directly, asking if he wanted to do a video or something after we'd already planned the trip. Like, we decided to go for Squire, and then I was like, maybe I should contact some other people while we're here.
Just on a whim, right?
Yeah, basically. I was just like, we're going, so I may as well, like, look up other people that we like and see if they'd be willing to do things. So I contacted him, and I, like, emailed Tom Scar, like, I emailed a few people.
Yeah.
And he responded and was, like, acted like he was super interested in it. But all the way up until, like, that weekend, I wasn't really sure it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then he, like, tweeted about it or something. So I was like, all right, we got it on lock. He's telling his fans about it, so we're good.
Cool.
And he picked out a couple of park locations. I selected the one that I thought looked best from the photos that were online. And then when we got there, we had trouble. Like, we were trying to find it and couldn't find it on maps. And so we're, like, calling him. And that was, like, the first surreal moment was he and Hat Films all called on, like, a joint group phone call.
Thing, yeah.
And that was just, oh no, what is this?
Happening?
How does work?
Oh my god.
England, you have too many circles.
Oh no.
Was that wrong?
No. Jeez Louise.
Was that wrong?
It was wrong. Couldn't tell you how, but well, this way apparently works. Oh jeez.
Did it correct?
No, it just sent me another way.
Okay.
Alright, well, whatever.
Weird. Alright.
Woo. Everything's fine.
Did it throw us off time-wise at all, or is it...
I think it added like 3 minutes.
Okay. Blanchford Building Supplies. That actually sounds like a normal name.
Anyway, keep going.
Right. So we're trying to find the park location and, like, calling them, because they don't know where it is either. This what ended up happening. And they haven't been. They're trying to find it too. And it was great because I was on the phone talking to them, and they give us some new directions, and then I hang up, and right when I hang up, the car in front of us, where we're parked, starts moving, and Allison's like, I think that might be them. And I look up, and we can just see, like, the Hat Films crew just, like, inside the car, just desperately trying to turn this giant Land Rover around in the middle of the tiniest Bristol street ever.
Right. Well, it was really reassuring to know that no one can drive in that city.
Right. It made us feel a lot better about not being able to do it because they also couldn't do it.
Like, yeah, I mean, the amount of curbs that Hat Films hit made me feel really good.
Right, yeah.
They did it a little bit better than we did because they didn't pop their tires, but you really can't, like, turn around on a British street without just curbing it. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, you have to park on the sidewalks.
Yeah, no, that happens a lot.
Literally everywhere.
So we ended up following them through multiple other wrong turns until we eventually arrived at, like, a Tesco parking lot.
We were an hour late.
Yeah, we were.
But it was a really beautiful area, actually.
Yeah. And it was super cool working with them.
Yeah.
At one point, it was just like, I remember standing there, like, thinking, I'm directing Hat Films.
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
Yeah. So, I actually didn't have the same experience because I didn't really know who any of these people were.
Right.
So, really, I just got to make friends along the way, which is super cool. I mean, it's kind of hard. Like, I actually can't, I'm, like, almost incapable of buying into, like, fame culture a little bit. Like,
yeah.
Like, even if I know, like, I have people I really like that I would be really interested in meeting and getting to see them, like, in person. But I used to be kind of a starry-eyed person. It doesn't really happen anymore. Like, now that I'm older, I just meet people and I'm like, oh, cool people, or oh, not cool people.
Yeah.
And their ability to do things is always admirable, but doesn't actually affect my opinion of like who they are anymore.
No, I agree.
I knew they did big things. Seeing the 5 gold/platinum YouTube rewards, I was like, oh, okay, big people with big stuff. But getting to walk around their office was super cool. But to me, I've walked around a lot of offices of really important places, and it felt very similar. It was like being happy for my friends that have like cool stuff that they do. Like, I don't know, I feel almost bad about it, but they were really great people.
So one, they invited us to walk around their offices.
Oh, right, spoilers.
Which I was not on the docket originally, but after we were done filming, Mark, because we got really late and they had to leave early, so Mark asked the next day, like the next morning, if we were going to be free, if we wanted to come check out the Yogscast offices and then go eat lunch. And Allison was there. She knows how cool I was. I was like, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I don't mean like we don't got nothing going on. And then they left, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Kyle occasionally would just like glance at me with tears in his eyes and sweat rolling down his face, and was like, "This is the most amazing feeling."
Because, and to me, it's not like a fame, like a, I'm not. It doesn't feel like I'm fawning over a celebrity kind of thing.
No.
It's I've been watching these people do what I want to do for years.
Right.
I tried to work for them multiple times. I applied to go be an editor there, and then all the people there, they have. Obviously, there's always a bit of a...
Sorry.
Oh, jeez.
What was it?
The camera kind of flew forward there a bit.
That's the camera?
Yes.
We didn't wrap the camera in anything?
Well, I didn't expect it to fly forward in the car.
Really? You're still not expecting things to go wrong in the car in London? I mean, in England?
Alright. I forget what I was saying. Alright. It's not really like a celebrity mentality so much, because I want, you see them on live streams, right? They're not really like traditionally famous people.
Sure.
Yeah, like it's a weird kind of relationship that you end up getting with internet personalities, where it feels almost like a one-sided friendship.
Yeah.
Where like you know them kind of,
right?
But they have no idea who you are.
Yeah.
And I know other people feel similarly about us, which is weird.
That is weird.
Because I've had people say similar things. I've had people say things to me where I was like, I'm that guy to other people.
Right.
That doesn't make sense that you're that guy to me. Why would I don't deserve like fans or recognition.
Yeah. So map stopped working. Will you?
Oh no. Yeah, I'll get it back then. So yeah, it was.
Well, and I feel a little bit like an April Ludgate in the situation quite a bit, because as someone who can't really be a very good fan, I'm not good at having fans, and so just meeting occasional people and then being like, wow, it's so good to meet you, and I'm like, is it? Like, I'm really not cool. And I feel like that's exactly the wrong thing to say. Like, no one wants me to say that. They're like, oh my god, Allison, it's nice to meet you, and they do it with Kyle, and I'm like, we're such normal people, like, why are you guys here?
Well, it was really comforting meeting, like, the guys, the Yogscast guys also, because Mark is exactly the same way. He specifically said he doesn't feel like a member of the Yogscast even now, because he came in late. He just feels like
Mark actually just reminds me of, like, a hobbit. Like, in the best way. Mark is exactly how you imagine, like, friendly British people. Oh, he reminds me of Bilbo. Martin Freeman, maybe is his name?
Yeah.
Just that, like, he's just really nice, happy, friendly English guy, which is super cool.
Mark is so nice. Like, I want to be friends with Mark by the end of that.
I'm not sure we're not friends with Mark. Mark just reminds me of, like...
No, he just, like...
He, like, meets people, and he's, like, so incredibly friendly towards them.
He was the most hospitable person. He, like, went out of his way to help us so many times.
Yeah.
Paid for our parking outside the office, showed us around.
Yeah.
He was super cool the entire time. And
he really was kind of an amazing person.
I would love to do more things with him. Like, just hang out with him, honestly. Not even...
Well, we got to, and it was great.
Yeah.
We got to go eat lunch with everybody. And Hat Films was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Like,
No, they are, as it turns out, exactly how they are on camera in real life all the time.
Their dynamic is pretty wonderful. Like, I'm not sure they ever aren't together.
Yeah,
I think they actually just sleep in bunk beds. There's three of them. I think they sleep in one bunk bed. I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Yeah, I think so.
Differently every time, maybe, but here, give me back.
They apparently all lived in the same house together for like during the years that we're. Well, that's the other thing too. The entire time we were interacting with him and looking in the office, everybody was talking about how they got started.
Right.
And it's what we're doing now.
Right.
So it made us feel like we're doing it kind of correctly, like we're going along the right path to eventually get to a point where we have our own office and our own production studio and stuff, because
we're doing something right.
We are at a position that they were all at one point in their development.
Well, and I feel bad because I got to meet these big YouTubers, and I jumped in kind of late. Like, I know I do a lot of stuff for the channel, but I'm not the face of it. Like, Ian, Jeffrey, Ethan, and you are in a lot of videos, and the most popular ones, like, we went to the fan meetup, and every video they selected were Jeffrey and Ethan.
Yeah.
Like, every single one of them without fail, which makes total sense. They're just absolutely hilarious, both of them. And I don't know, they brought a film guy to the actual shoot. What was his name?
Craig.
Craig, that's what it was. The most film guy name ever. And
he was Hat Films editor / camera operator.
Yeah, and so he came and was silent. He had the camera like in front of his face the whole time, and I deeply related to him. Like, we even shared.
That's so important. Like, Mark even said at one point, he was like, the editors weren't there, this entire thing would just fall apart. Like,
right, I know,
you are important.
I know.
Even if you're new.
I know, but it's just like, I don't know, like, no one goes to the fan meetups to me like the person that does the color correcting, the occasional editing, and holds the camera sometimes, as well as, like, appears in some videos.
You have an identity on the channel also, though. People know of you.
I mean, yeah, no, I understand.
That is the one thing that we've been sad about. Like, occasionally things would happen. The only thing that I'd feel kind of bad about was being like, I wish Ian was here, or I really wish, like, Joey could see the streaming setup that Hat Films has.
Oh my god, yeah. The whole time we were talking to Hat Films and their streaming thing, I was like, oh, Joey, I hope you're, like, mentally picking up on this. Please tap into your psychic abilities and, like, see through my eyes right now, which I fully believe Joey could do. So
yeah, I hope sometime in the future we'll be able to take bigger groups on things like this.
We will absolutely be able to. And I think honestly, now that we know the worth that we get out of it, it would really be worth the investment of bringing more people along.
Yeah,
just because,
I think so.
I mean, I think we know what we get out of our money's worth of traveling, and honestly, bringing 2 more people along, I think would have really, like, even still we would have gotten our worth out of it. Because, I don't know, that's maybe double exactly what we paid, but we already got double what it was worth.
That's true.
So
even the Oxcast has similar.
Oh shit, where am I supposed to go?
Crap. That looked close. Can you just stay in the roundabout?
I can, and I will. Okay, so was it that one? This is the only one I can do.
Yeah,
right?
it looks like that's it. Oh wait, no, that one.
That one.
Yeah. Still figuring out roundabouts a little bit, but we're getting better. Allison's getting better. I get no credit.
Well, you're helping. You're necessary, trust me. I can't remember the amount of times I've been like, Kyle, look on my left, Am I touching the curb?
I've seen the Yogscast, like, video blog behind the scenes thing, though, when they're going on trips.
Yeah.
And they don't all get to go on every one either.
No.
Because they're a huge group, so they get like 4 people, like, and they swap out and go on different.
I think that's a good idea.
But hopefully, like, next one, I'd like to bring different people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
and it's important about who can go, right? I assume they all don't go all the time because people have lives and schedules and stuff. So, if you're in school, it makes it harder. If you have a full-time job, it makes it harder. If you have a family, it makes it harder. Like, Jeffrey would be hard to take just because of his job. Obviously, the invite should always be out there, but, like, is that a
hang glider?
That's a hang glider. There's someone just flying through the sky right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I want to do that.
That's amazing. It's like one of those wheel ones. It's like one of the big chair hang gliders.
Yeah, it does. It looks like the things from Avatar.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. Anyway.
Just the thing you see out here in England, I guess.
I think you know what? Oh my god, this just occurred to me. When we were in Rhode Island and we went out and we ate with our fans, like the people that were there to meet us, I bet that for them was very similar to us going out to lunch with Hat Films and Mark.
It's true.
Like, I think maybe there was a little bit of like, oh my gosh, cool people, and then we all sat around and they were like, wow, friends.
Right.
Like,
well, that's what I need. That's what I try to take away from that is, like, if other people are thinking this about me, then it means, like, these people I'm talking to are also just normal people.
They were all really down to earth.
They were. Like, they were all really, like, we had some really great conversation with everybody. Just, like, it was a really good conversation over lunch, honestly, about a lot of different topics.
Yeah, I mean,
like internet stuff, movies.
Alex just seems like he just seems incredible. Alex
is a very smart.
He seems incredibly smart.
Very smart person.
Yeah, he really does. It was really nice to, like, the first day we met him, he was just he put on an orc mask and was an absolute loon the entire time. But getting down to eat lunch was really cool because he was really smart. And I like people with opinions. I have a lot of them. I like people who have lots of them.
Yeah.
And that was really enjoyable. Ross just seems like the nicest guy. Like, really friendly, always made a point to pay attention to either of us. And
Trot, I learned Chris Trot was on
funny.
Newgrounds. He's also
funny.
Yeah, no, he's legitimately funny.
He's never not funny, it looks like. Like, a few of them I think let their guard down, and he just is like consistently ready for jokes all the time, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. It was funny when they have, if you'll see in the video, they all have their orc masks on, and when they put the orc mask over their actual face, somehow it like brings out their inner self.
Yeah.
Like Alex becomes this giant, like looming.
He's very big.
Like kind of like
he's so tall.
They're all so tall. I thought Chris was short, but it's because he's my height.
Yeah.
The other two are just giants.
I looked like a doll compared to all of them, like an actual like baby doll.
Yeah. But yeah, like with the masks on, like Alex just looks like this kind of like looming figure. Ross, I think, just kind of like he just looks a little bit goofy, I think. And then Chris just looks like a mischievous goblin, kind of like they all just.
Ross was so handsome. They were all actually stunningly beautiful people.
Yeah.
Like Mark, Alex, Trot, and Ross were all just like we're all gorgeous. Like a little bit floored. I don't know, I guess I just didn't have any expectation. And I was like, what?
Oh, we also got to meet Nina at lunch, who I didn't actually get to talk to all that much, but she's
also gorgeous. I really, very, very beautiful people. Everybody's very beautiful at the Yogscast, turns out.
Who else did I got to meet Duncan, which was cool. He was like one of the original like OG Yogscast that I got to just meet.
Yeah.
And it was the weird, like I think was in the middle of, he had just gotten in or was on the way there, but I was able to just shake his hand and say hi to him. And he was like, oh yeah, I've seen your Civ videos. And I was like, you what now? Yeah. you just seen our videos?
Kyle just about passed out. You weren't as cool at that one as the other times.
Well, because by that point it was just like, how have you all seen our stuff?
Your cool was not kept in that moment. I think he saw it and it was pretty adorable.
Well, because I saw him there, and I was like in my head trying to figure out, do I just say hi? But I waited long enough that Mark came over and just introduced me.
Mark was such a good host. He introduced us to everybody. He made us feel at home, like never made us feel awkward or left. Like he never left us in a corner at a party.
No,
like friends do.
And then he introduced me to Duncan, and Duncan was like, "Oh, I thought I recognized you," and I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
that's not the way that's supposed to go."
Yeah, that was really weird.
He introduced us to Terps.
Yeah.
And I did not say, hi, I'm that guy that emailed you about getting a job here that one time, and then you stopped emailing me back. But
that was a good thing to not say. I'm proud of you for holding back.
Terps was also like, Terps is like the consummate professional, I think, of the Yogscast, basically. He's the CEO.
Was that the one that was standing up?
Yeah.
He was also beautiful.
You know what's interesting? They've all gotten progressively better looking over the years.
So you know what? I've actually noticed that about everyone, though. I think it's the style that's happening.
You think so?
Yeah, like the style currently, like a few years ago, it was really kind of a thing to be like shaggy a bit.
Yeah.
I think. I don't want to be honest. Like, just everything was pretty relaxed for a long time, but up until about like 2015, 16, men specifically had like a fashion, which wasn't really like a.
Because I remember being part of the, like, it was just like t-shirts and hair that you didn't mess with at all, basically. That was the style.
Right, but now men have like little fashion things, specifically like cuffing their jeans is a thing, and certain types of like fitted shirts and hairstyles. Hairstyles go a long way, which really weren't a thing for a while. Like,
yeah, well, I think a lot of people at that office also have lost a lot of weight since they first started.
Oh, okay,
like,
sure.
Both Marks and Duncan and I think a few other people. I just remember like they were just slightly heavier a few years ago, and now they're not anymore.
Sure.
Like they've all seemed to have like gotten into a fitness thing, and like Trot's hair is new, the blonde like dyed thing, and they all have like the really nice facial hair, and like everybody just like
they just look good. They're just a bunch of good looking boys.
Good looking boys.
Good looking boys.
And then I also saw the back of Lewis's head, so that was cool.
Who's Lewis?
Lewis is the guy that started it all. Lewis Brindley is the founder and owner of the Yogscast.
Right. I feel really bad about not knowing. Like, I didn't let any of them know that, but maybe they probably smelled it on me. Just, like, standing around being like, I don't know any of you people.
I never know how honest to be about, like, how, like, after we got really comfortable with Mark, honestly, and by the end of it I was telling him, like, yeah, I used to watch the Yogscast every freaking day.
Right.
And he was okay with that, because he was also a fan that ended up getting a job there.
Oh, so, yeah, no, that makes sense.
It was easier to relate to.
Makes sense, yeah.
But then I was floored every time somebody brought up anything of ours.
Right.
Like, Mark specifically referenced the XCOM video, and I was like, you've watched enough of them to, like, know specific videos that we've made?
Right. No, I mean, realistically, I think a little bit of it might have been, like, research.
He definitely, because he told me that he was streaming, and somebody in the chat told him about us.
Right.
And said that he should do a video with us sometime. And then the next day is when I emailed him.
Right,
so
no, that's...
It just worked out super well.
Well, didn't he introduce us to the guy that mentioned us?
He did. Who did he say?
I remember his face and outfit perfectly.
Yeah.
It's on video. We have it on video.
That's true, yeah. I think it was one of the editors or somebody that they had there he introduced us to that was...
It was also very cool. Yeah. And also very handsome. And maybe there's something in the water.
Maybe it's just Bristol. Maybe Bristol people just look good.
Maybe that's what it is.
The whole office was amazing. Also, we got to see it was their new one because I've seen video of their old office, which was more standard. This one was like it was in a beautiful area and it was so like the inside was just so well done.
Yeah.
They had all these different like studio rooms and their nice big like Yogscast backlit sign when you walk in. Their big like open floor office right in the middle was really cool.
Yeah.
Hat Films had their own room that was just decked out, which you can see like on their streams and everything that they do. And yeah, it was just really impressive. It was just kind of showing us like here's what you might be able to have one day.
Yeah,
something like
really,
this.
really cool.
And
yeah, it was just a great time.
Just amazing 2 days. Oh, and then in the middle of that, we got to have our first actual meetup.
Oh yeah, and at the end of the day.
It was hosted by T-Powered Theater, and this guy Rupert contacted me when we mentioned we were coming here, and said that he did this local theater thing in Bristol, and asked if we wanted to host the whole thing in like in an actual building with our videos being screened and food being served, and we ended up getting 37 people show up.
That's it. How?
I don't know how many people are going to be here today. Like, we're on our way to another group now. I'm hoping it's not 37 people, actually.
I think it'll be much smaller. They advertised for us.
They did, yeah. They did a lot of advertising. Burnt L showed up. We got to meet Burnt L and Cold F. And, like, that was
pretty cool.
Because
Kyle saw Burnt L and walked up and hugged him, and it was sweet.
I could not. It was just like, he sent me messages on Newgrounds, like, 10 years ago.
No, that's really awesome. That's just so cool.
Yeah, like back when I was like, I just want a fan mail. Like that's what I wanted.
One fan mail. And then you got it, right?
Yeah, that was Burnt L, like.
Oh, and he's been around that whole time.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Listen to our podcast. Burnt L knows all of our deepest, darkest secrets.
He probably wrote them down somewhere.
He knows we used to suck.
He was waiting. He was waiting to meet us so that he could find out if we were horrible people, and then if we were, he would just release all of our secrets.
I found out his real name, but I won't reveal it.
Oh yeah.
His brother let it slip. And I was like, I know your name now.
Yeah. How dare he?
There were so many fans there, and we got to interact with. I think we managed to interact with all of them.
Yeah, I think we did actually get to speak to every single one of them, which was super cool.
They were basically all cool.
They were all different ages.
Yeah.
That was really crazy.
There was one, like, older woman who came there who was not familiar with our stuff at all.
She was so sweet.
But her nephew...
Wait, suddenly smells like the most England smell.
Yeah, it does.
You smell that?
Like rustic?
Yeah, it's like sweet rain.
Yeah.
What is that smell? Oh my god.
The smell. There's a petrichor. There's a word for it. They say it in Doctor Who. The smell of like wet soil after rain.
Oh my god, it smells so good.
It's actually a word.
Is that what I'm smelling?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
But yeah, this woman like came to our meetup to get my autograph for her nephew.
Oh my god, that was so sweet.
that was... I don't... It's such a toss-up between the weirdest experience over the last 2 days. I don't even know which thing it is now.
Right.
Like, none of it feels like real life.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
And so I signed... Well, she came and asked for a signature and asked if we had merchandise. We didn't have any. I felt bad, so I ended up giving her my pin, like my lapel pin, the door monster thing.
The one that you wear on your jacket every single day.
Yeah, and because I can get myself another one later.
Right.
By ordering it off of DFTBA, but I didn't have anything else on me at the time, so I gave her that and I signed her the thing that she brought. You
autographed.
Right.
You autographed a few things. People wanted your signature.
Right. Allison autographed a couple things too. Bartell autographed one thing.
I feel like I autographed things out of like manners. They were like, "Oh, here," and I was like, "What? Are you sure?" And they were like, "Yeah," and I was like, But no, that was really surreal, and they were like showing our videos and everything, and there were very delicious looking tea things and some really good ginger beer.
Yeah, they gave us
Rupert, is that what you said his name was?
Rupert, yeah.
Rupert was a great host.
Yeah, no, he
had great questions. He was really nice. He made us feel comfortable. We like walked into a room and he's like, there's 30 something people here, and we were just like, what? I think he expected us to be slightly more professional, but we were actually just like dumbfounded.
He seemed also fairly surprised at how many people showed up, actually.
Really?
Well, because on the Facebook group, about 15 people had confirmed.
Yeah, right, and then 37 showed up.
Yeah.
That's not usually how it goes.
No.
Usually whoever confirms, half show up.
Right. Doesn't usually multiply by 4.
Right. That was insane. They were all so cool too.
Yeah.
It was really nice. I met somebody who has the same name as my dad, which doesn't actually sound like a cool
I forgot
thing.
about that.
That was really cool. And they're all such nice people.
Yeah. Everyone we've been here has been really nice. One of them was pretty racist, but everybody we've been here has been pretty nice.
Yeah.
Not our fans, somebody else.
No, yeah. Someone at the fan meetup tried to like help me kind of understand British politics, but we didn't have enough time.
Oh.
I was like, I don't know what the Queen does, and she was like, I don't know what the Queen does, and I was like, okay. She was like, yeah, no one knows. I mean, like people know, but like, does anybody know? And I was like, girl, same. So.
Oh, and there was one guy there from like Iowa, Indiana, one of the I states.
Oh,
there was an American there.
Indiana. Yeah, that's really weird.
Somebody who was like studying abroad in a college near here. I think in the Bristol.
Yeah, it was in the
University
whatever colleges. Yeah.
And so yeah, he was there and just came to say hi. That was weirdly more shocking than some of the other things. He came up and started talking to us, and I was like, wait a minute.
You're
like us.
Something is wrong here. Yeah, no, that was really cool. So we've been staying at Airbnbs. That's the only way we travel now anymore.
Right, yeah.
And
because they're so much better than hotels.
They're so much better. You pay like the cheapest hotel you can get is like $60, and
you don't want to stay in that hotel.
Yeah, there's a slight chance you'll get like AIDS and definitely bed bugs. So it's just really not worth it. So we discovered Airbnb, and like you can pay we've paid $20 for like a night at a nice Airbnb. Like
yeah.
I mean, for 2 people it ends up being 40, or no, it usually ends up being like 25 for 2 people, and then however long you end up staying. But
you need to meet new people and stay in like areas that aren't touristy. You
get to be in the area, like immersed a little bit, and then some people want to make you food. Like they take the breakfast part seriously. Right? Yeah, they
don't do that
in
the U.S. very often, but
they definitely there's an attempt usually, but like.
Here they serve you breakfast, at least 2 of the places we've been.
Yeah, it's crazy. They always have like coffee out and tea.
The second place let us film. Actually,
I forgot
backyard.
About that.
We didn't
really
finish filming with the Yogscast. We had our parts. Mine and Allison's close-ups weren't done.
Yeah.
So Mark let us keep the costumes overnight. And the next day we were going to drive out back to the location, but it was raining and miserable, and we were late.
Yeah.
And I looked out in her backyard and was like, a couple of those bushes could work.
They're green.
And I'm hoping they work. I haven't edited it yet, but I think...
if it doesn't work, don't tell us.
Yeah.
I think with some color editing, I can make it work.
I think it'll probably be fine. I don't think most people won't notice.
Snell shell.
Snell shell.
It was SNELSHALL.
Oh,
Snell shell.
All right. It's like a Dr. Seuss city.
Or a Dr. Seuss villain.
Yeah.
I meant Doctor Who. You said Dr. Seuss.
Oh,
Cat
yeah.
and Ho. Cat and Ho. I like that one. Anyway.
Yeah, so the second Airbnb owner let us like go and film out in her backyard for that morning, which was...
She was so sweet. She offered us food. She had every cereal imaginable. And
there was a dog.
Desserts.
I like the dog.
Oh, the dog was great. I like the cat. The cat was great.
And 2 out of 3 have been really, really nice places, too.
Yeah.
The first one wasn't bad. It was just an apartment. But
the first one was basic, but so much better than anything a hotel could offer. Like, the first one was a bed and a private room and a shower that was pretty nice. Like, all great things. The second ones were just, like, above and beyond, you know? But, no, we had one host that just, he was a talker. He talked about things. Some things.
He had opinions.
Well,
we didn't agree with those opinions.
I told Kyle to, like, we woke up late, and an hour later than I told him we would be down for breakfast, so I felt horrible. So I went to go shower, and I demanded Kyle go down there to entertain, to be there, to show up like we tried to care or something.
Yeah.
And he did, and I come down about 45 minutes later, and I immediately felt horrible that I made Kyle go alone. Like, I was like, oh no, that was not cool of me, I'm so sorry. Because, I mean, he wasn't like a bad guy or anything, but, just like, maybe if you open your home to people, don't talk about politics.
That's kind of the main thing, yeah. It's like, we can't speak up. Like, we can't share our opinions because we're staying in your home and you're giving us food.
Right.
So maybe, like, don't hold us captive with, like, talking about things that we, like, are kind of controversial subjects that we might not agree with.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. It's like, in exchange for a cookie, you sell your soul a bit.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, here, I'll make you food.
But that
anyway,
wasn't part
so
of the deal originally.
Right.
I didn't agree to this.
Right. No, it was a...
People warned us about, like, small-town English racists. We didn't really, like, meet any of them up until...
It was definitely, like, it wasn't obvious racism. Like, let's talk about those blanks.
It wasn't Texas racism, which is a little bit different.
Right.
Like, if small-town Texas racism is very ignorant racism, it's very,
well, let's be... Yes. Small town... Okay, so... Different cultures in terms of even racism. In small-town Texas, when you're racist, no one really has to know, because usually your manners are laid on thick.
That's also true. You don't bring it. It's like, Texas is like king of the, you don't talk about politics around family kind of mindset.
So your racism is usually fathered down. Like, your parents taught you to be racist, and honestly, you've never really seen a black person or anything else in small-town Texas, so you never get, like, experience really understanding that people are just people, really.
Right. That's what I meant by ignorant racism. It's uneducated. It's just a mindset that was handed from one person to the other, and you uphold it because you didn't have anything else to counter it at any point.
Right. Like, yeah. And it's not even remotely excusable.
No.
It's just sometimes you can understand where certain people come from on things. No, I said that wrong. It's not where sorry, you can understand how people are ignorant. That doesn't excuse it. Because at some point you were like, oh, I see what made you this way.
The term that I've been using a lot lately actually is, it makes sense, it's just not okay.
Right, yes, you do say that often. But yeah, no, this was not that case. Like, he was a very educated older man.
His racism clearly came from experience. It was
very like he had personal experiences with certain types of people and felt about that.
Which made it interesting because it was more selective. There were parts of it that because I did not think that Muslims are inherently evil.
He did not think that?
I don't think so. Well, he was very open about what he did think, and that wasn't like he specifically talked about other people thinking that and kind of rolled his eyes at it.
Right.
And it's like, but he's very blatant, but there were some things that he clearly did not believe. Whereas I know some people in Texas who they don't talk about it, but I know for a fact that they think, Muslims are horrible, and basically anything against the small town version of Christianity that they've been brought up on is ungodly and sinful, and everybody's going to hell around them.
But I mean, just in general, so there's I think, oh shit, sorry, I think I didn't know that was a roundabout. I think that sorry, I totally swore. I'm gonna give it a 3-second break so we can cut. Okay, so I think it was interesting because I'm trying to find like the right words. So I think people give old people leeway, right? They're like, okay, they're old and racist. That's because they're old, and like.
Right, it's the outdated mindset from when they were.
Right, I'm getting less okay with that.
Yeah, no, I kind of started drifting away from that also because.
Well, and I don't think he thinks he's racist.
No. Well, and again, that's what so the difference is that like his opinions clearly came from his own personal experiences.
Yeah.
And that he was like he met someone that fit a certain profile and was like, well, then this is the way they all are.
I mean,
he's like first generation racism, almost like he did the stereotyping. He didn't just borrow it from somebody else.
Right. No. Well, and it's interesting because we were warned about racist people specifically.
Yeah.
Like, watch out for the racists, which is it's a weird thing. Like, we don't really do that in our country. Like, there are racists. Like, they're everywhere, all the time. But they're usually like hidden. Like, one pops up from behind a bush and is like, I hate blank, and you're just like, okay, racist, go away. But like in England, they were just like
all the time. You'll just be jogging and just like racists just pop out of the bushes.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you never know, they kind of hide it. But it sounds like in England there's a little bit of a culture, not in like England in general, but like small towns, which are mostly made up of old people from our experiences.
Well, so it's also worth mentioning it is I think culturally more accepted in England to like poke fun at other countries also.
Oh, I see.
Like they have more of a comedian mindset. Like I think we do it also a lot, and we at Door Monster might say things about different groups that it's the same way we interact with states.
Yeah.
Like with the way we talk about Oklahoma, they'll talk about France, right? Like it's like they have the same kind of
sense.
Like the ribbing kind of thing going on.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah,
so it kind of like opens it up a little bit more just in that regard.
Well, but when we make fun of Oklahoma, we make fun of Oklahoma, which almost makes it okay. If you make fun of France, it's fine.
We don't make fun of the people in Oklahoma as much as we make fun of the state itself. Like,
if you make fun of Japan, like, I can kind of see it, like, Japan has things to make fun of. If you start talking about Orientals...
Right, which did happen. Right, there's a difference between being like, Japan's weird, right, and being like, so them Orientals and they're overcrowding.
Oh my god. So, well, okay, so, I sort of, expected a bit, right? You know, when I was talking about, like, we have a little bit of leeway for old people and racism.
Yeah.
Like, it's not shocking to come across an old person who's like, anyway, Orientals.
And well, no, because it's just something your grandma does occasionally at Thanksgiving, right?
Right. But specifically, like, I'm normally a really outspoken feminist, as well as, like, I volunteer for the San Antonio Rape Crisis Center, and this guy... As soon as Kyle left, like, I went downstairs and was like, Kyle, go get ready, I'll handle it from here. This guy starts talking about, like, like, just, this whole trouble with Harvey Weinstein, and how it's a bit of a bullying situation on this guy. Like, you know what you're getting into when someone asks you into their hotel room. And I'm sitting there like, yeah,
I watched you this morning. You keep face pretty well somehow during those situations.
Right. No, and that's my southern manners kicking in. I think if I was from anywhere else, I would have been like, sir, we need to have a talk. Why don't you sit down and I'll make you breakfast.
That's what we're talking about. Like, you can't, right? Because we're staying in his home.
Right. Exactly.
So it's just kind of rude to bring that up, I think.
I mean, yeah. Yes, it would have been totally rude, like, for me to have been like, I don't know, it was very much an internal fight.
Or sorry, rude of him to bring it up.
No, I know.
Put you in that situation.
But it was just an internal fight between me wanting to be like, sir? And then the other side of me just being like, wait, he invited you into his home, he fed you, he let you sleep there, he gave you a nice shower. He was generally kind to you. Now, does he do creepy things on his own time? I don't know. Maybe don't say things that invite creepy behavior, but, you know, he was nice enough to us, so it really doesn't feel appropriate to be like, you know.
Him aside, everyone else we've met has been wonderful.
Yeah, no, he was nice.
Well, and he was, like, other than that one aspect of his personality, everybody else we have met has been wonderful, including, all the rest of him, because... Yeah,
no, he was fine, and his wife was really lovely, and everyone we've met has been incredibly lovely, and it's been funny because, like, I'll be talking to our Airbnb hosts and be like, hey, we're gonna be late, we have to do this, and they're always very... Airbnb hosts naturally, they generally want to talk to the people that are coming in.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of the mentality and the culture behind it is like, it's usually older people who have kids that have like moved out and they want
people
in their home. So they're very kind about getting involved in your life. So I'll occasionally drop things like, oh, we have a fan meetup, or we're gonna go make a video, and then when we get there, we can clarify. And so we've had a few people just be like, oh, we met the famous people. Like now we'll be famous. We'll have a famous backyard.
Yeah.
So it's been cool to just sort of see what people think. We met an Australian waiter who apparently is the only one of his friends that watches YouTube. Listed a couple of big YouTubers, H3 and PewDiePie, stuff like that. But it was just like, yeah, people don't. It's not the same, I guess.
Right. Well, because the first 2 days were just like they were amazing and wonderful experiences, and I loved that I had to have them. But they were also chaotic and exhausting.
I was stressed.
And so yesterday we just like didn't do anything. It was just our day.
Yeah.
We went and looked around this tiny little village called Painswick.
Oh my God, it was beautiful.
It was so cute. It was like it was just perfect English village. I'm so glad that we got to see it now, because the first time we both came here, we only saw London.
Yeah.
Or you went to a couple other places, you said.
The first time when I was 12, I saw like some in northern England.
Yeah.
Like some of the really beautiful, like York and a few other places that are really stunning.
I only saw London, which is not a good representation of England.
I only remember London outside of like beautiful dreams of York I occasionally have.
So we got to go to this one little village and, like, just stop at like a tea shop and just kind of walk around and look at all the cute buildings that all are like labeled with different names. The people live in them.
Yeah.
And just kind of have a nice, relaxing, like, English countryside day.
Yeah, and it was beautiful weather, which apparently was really strange.
Yeah, we got one good weather day just on that day.
We had sun.
Just for us.
And wind, and it was cool and beautiful, and yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. And that basically brings us up to speed. We're now heading over to Cambridge to do our second meetup. We're going to be outside the university library.
Yeah.
Which hopefully works as a decent location.
I'm really excited to see this university.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody specific coming to this one that we were like looking forward to. I don't remember.
Not that I know of. I think there were a few people that said they would in the Discord, but I can't quite remember who.
We're gonna just kind of hang out, look at the town, look at the college, I think, for the day. It'll be another actually pretty light day. I think is what it's gonna. We'll have the meetup for like an hour and a half, and then just kind of explore afterwards.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we head to Norwich, and we have another meetup with a couple of people that I know are coming.
Yeah.
Lizzie from pretty early on, like in.
I don't know what that is.
That's one of our fans from like.
Oh, okay.
Like pre 20,000 subscribers at least, like during that first year.
There was a girl?
Yeah,
Lizzie?
She was one of our first like noticeable female fans.
What?
Actually, yeah.
What?
She was one of the, and she was on a Pathfinder campaign that I tried to host online for a couple sessions.
Aw.
And then we'll be meeting Squire afterwards, and we're gonna hang out with him for like 2 days.
I'm so excited to hear Squire talk. Like, everyone has accents, but oh my God.
Yeah, man, Squire's accents, that is something special.
Like, Squire's like that's the accent you can fall asleep to. It's pretty good.
I'm just looking forward to just kind of hanging out with Squire.
Yeah.
Like, if we were gonna get there and just kind of like just let it all go, just like
Squire's
just
gonna be a jerk. I bet it's gonna happen. We already met all the cool people. We're gonna meet Squire, and he's gonna be like, anyway.
It's gonna be horrible.
It's gonna be horrible. Everything about him, you can just tell. You can tell by how nice he is and his beautiful accent that he's just gonna be horrible.
I've actually talked to him pretty often online.
Pretty extensively.
So we're internet friends, and we're gonna get to meet. He's gonna take us, kind of show us around Norwich, I think, and we're gonna film on Sunday at a castle that we picked out.
Cool.
Yeah, we have another D&D video. Hopefully it's not raining. We may have broken some of our equipment.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Just by getting wet.
Yeah. It's actually been a relatively stressful trip.
It has. Honestly, like, lots of things have gone wrong, but everything that has gone right has gone so right that it vastly outweighs anything that has gone wrong on this trip.
Right. No, I don't feel entirely the same, but...
That's fair. For me, personally,
I wasn't meeting my heroes. So, I wasn't meeting my heroes.
No, that's
But to me, it was just like an occasional nice break with some really cool, talented, inspirational people.
Well, and we've still actually, like, it's hurt sometimes, but we've kept the schedule. Like, we're still where we're supposed to be even now, like on Friday. So we're making it. We're getting progressively better. By the end of this whole thing, we'll be pros at navigating the England roadways, I think. And,
yep, totally.
And yeah,
we still have a whole half of a trip left.
That is true. No, we still have like several days actually. This is halfway through the trip, and it already feels like
like we've been here for weeks.
Yeah.
I miss Lola.
And then we'll probably also have. I think we're gonna have one do our London meetup also on Monday before we leave, just because everybody from London still wants us to come there, and new people have said that they want to make it there. So
yeah, I think we'll have to do that.
On Saturday, we'll post up a video confirming that we'll be there and just letting people know. And yeah, just do another quick thing in the middle of the day, and then probably like look at London for a little bit before flying back the next day.
Yep.
And then I'm planning on releasing the Hat Films Mark Humes video on the following Monday, probably, because that way I don't have to film anything else right when we get back.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I don't think it'll be good timing because people will be looking for it right after Hat Films announced they were doing something with us.
Yeah, I know.
And they tagged us on Instagram, so
doing it sooner is probably better.
Now that we have a whole surplus in Instagram followers, we should really work on our friggin' Instagram.
Yeah.
Sir. Which I will continue to do.
Yeah. And then we'll be 3 videos ahead at that point. We'll do the Westworld one, and then we'll try to keep try to double up on videos a little bit because we got to start building up videos now for the. We'll take a break for like a few days when we get back, but then we got to dive into Skyvault stuff.
Yeah.
Which I am excited for, but at the moment don't want to think about.
I think we kicked off this year a little ambitious.
Yeah, we did.
You want to go to England in 3 weeks? Yeah, sure. Want to film a 12-episode series by the end of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I was thinking about how I also, like, I really wanted to get back into Altered Egos, but I don't think we can this year.
I don't think we can.
I don't think we could keep that up.
Like it's really annoying the things we have to sacrifice.
Well, it's
I want to travel again this year, and I think we'll have the ability to, but not the time.
Well, because of Skyvault, this is the first year in a while that I've had to say no to ideas that I've had.
Yeah.
Because for a while I've just, like, I come up with a thing and I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it, and then we just do it.
Right.
But now we have to prep for kind of a really big project.
I mean,
so we have to.
This is our break. Like, as soon as we get back, I actually have a different thing that we have to do listed every single month on my calendar.
Yeah.
Like, I have a month for budgeting, I have a month for pre-production, I have a month for casting.
Yeah.
Like, every month is labeled something different, and February is different. January was
and then we're moving in 2 months also.
Right, then there's that. Then we're moving.
Yeah.
Well,
it's gonna be busy.
Shucks.
When we get back, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna try to think about that last episode that me and Ian were stuck on the way back, and then we're gonna start turning those into full treatments. We're gonna start. You and me are gonna spend a whole week just budgeting and planning and like figuring out like.
I'm gonna have a lot of gray hair at the end of this year. I already have too many.
We gotta, make some early casting decisions. Whole stack of things. I'm really excited though for the most part. Like, the only reason it feels exhausting now is because we're like constantly doing stuff on this trip.
Yeah.
Like, once we get back and we rest up, I'll be super ready to dive into that. I know I will.
Me too. I'm excited. We should really fix my filming shoes.
Yeah, we should.
It'd be nice to get some actual, like, a little bit more camera muscle building.
Yeah.
And
then among that, we need to film a bunch of sketches also.
Yep.
Yeah. Just how many do we need actually? We're planning for 6 months, so we need 12 videos for basically. We need to be like by August we need to be 12 ahead on our current schedule.
Yeah.
Which isn't too hard, I don't think.
Are we really gonna post this rambling mess of our trip?
Yeah. Now this is what these podcasts are. They're not structured at all.
I'd call it racism and tea.
Racism and tea.
I think that's what I'd call it. Gotta do a little bit of that clickbait. Gotta get on that clickbait train.
Yeah, clickbait doesn't really help the podcast very much.
No, it helps me.
It helps you?
Yeah,
as a host of the podcast, or clicking on?
No, as a podcast listener. I listen to a podcast called the Bad Christians.
Oh yeah.
And every time they have a controversial title, I'm like, whoop, that's the one. And then I get halfway through it, and I'm like, now I'm angry. And then I close it.
Well, cool. I guess that basically covers everything so far.
Yeah, just an hour and a half worth of talking covered our first 3 days.
Yeah. Before we try to do some stuff with, like, we're planning on doing like a community comments with Squire also.
That'll be great.
So we'll get some good footage with him.
I think you should read all the comments.
Okay. Yeah, you should.
He's got such a great voice.
We'll keep getting behind the scenes footage also. We got the camera right back there, so we'll get some at this meetup and then tomorrow's meetup and then just everything we're doing with Squire, and we're gonna have a good solid behind the scenes video from this whole week, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I will probably end up having to split it in two actually, because I have behind the scenes stuff from Fallout too.
Oh yeah.
Like a lot of it.
Yeah, you do.
And that's technically the one that needs to go up next.
Just do a long behind the scenes video.
I guess I could just skip this upcoming week and not try to edit the Fallout video together, because that's what I was going to do. Maybe that's what I'll do actually. Maybe we'll get community comments with Squire.
Okay.
I'll edit that for Friday when we get back.
That's a good idea.
And then the following day we'll put out the Yogscast video, and then the following week we'll do double feature Fallout and England trip, big long behind the scenes. Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
And that's probably better, because otherwise I have to like split the England footage up into two different things.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that works better.
Cool.
That still makes a video a week.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Alright.
Sounds like a plan. Alright, thanks for listening to Interdimensional Road Trip, guys. We'll be back eventually with wherever we go next time. Yep. And also maybe some like actual podcasts before that, but we'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes.
Bye.
Bye.